that I am in debt over $100,000 because of student loans.
I still look at it as I very much am still $100,000 in debt. And my depression has been so bad that...
And next thing you know, he's gone. And 2 days later, I got a text message saying he was done.
My husband dumped me via text. That our 8-year marriage is over. And where the marriage ended, I left with basically nothing. And I had nothing.
I am over $100,000 in debt because of student loans. Do I think it was worth it? Do I regret my decision? Let's get into it. So I decided to become a nurse when I was 24. I went to a community college to complete all of my prerequisite classes. I paid next to nothing to complete those. Once I was done and graduated with an associate's in science with a 3.8 GPA, I started applying to nursing programs. Applied to nursing programs throughout San Diego County, through Riverside County. 2 years went by and I had still not gotten into a nursing program. Bite the bullet and take out student loans and go to a private accelerated nursing program. I went to West Coast University. This school is notorious for being really expensive. Accelerated, so you graduate with your bachelor's degree in nursing in little over 2 years. The education itself, I really don't know if it was good or bad in the grand scheme of nursing programs throughout Southern California. What I will say is that I am in debt over $100,000 because of student loans. I don't know how long it's going to take me to pay that off. In fact, it's just a distant future goal of mine. I'm not even worrying about it right now. Paying them on time, it is what it is. Do I regret it? If I knew that getting into a regular public nursing program was going to be that difficult, I would have just gone to West Coast right off the bat and saved myself those 2 years wasted. Why is it so hard to get into a nursing program is what I really want to know. There are so many RNs that are leaving bedside. Why would you want to make it so difficult for people to just get into nursing school? If you're thinking about going to West Coast and if you've been trying to get into a nursing program and you're having no luck, I would just say go for it. Go to a private program that you know you have a guaranteed foot in the door. If there's one thing I regret is that I didn't start sooner.
I would say don't go for it, right? Because you can get something else that's promising. Me, I would rather join the Google program. I know with a Google program and with my experience, I could take that for free, maybe $100 tops, and I get in and be paid a lot of times more than a lot of nurses, unless they're doing overtime. But I would get paid a lot. Sometimes with those Google certification programs, I would get around 100,000. Why would I not? You're leaving money on the table, not doing something like that. Whereas you're going for a nurse, a lot of times you're throwing money away. Guys, look for the better things to do.
So I've been MIA for a while. And I hate that because there's actually so many of you guys that are following along and encouraging. And my hair, oh my God. I've been really depressed. It's bad. I'm getting help. I'm reaching out to my friends and my family and going to therapy and stuff, but it's not working. I've been spending a lot of time sleeping and crying, and I don't know. It started with my trip to my mom's. That was the trigger, and it normally my depressive episodes only last a couple days, but this one has been around for over a month now, and it's really taking a toll on me.
I gotta say something. Usually you get depressed or you get feelings of anxiety when you feel down and out. Work on a plan to make it better and then attack it. That's your only answer.
Update in the debt situation. I had a a rental property that I owed hardly nothing on. It's not like a crazy expensive. It's like a little townhome. Anyway, I did a cash out refi on it, and I only pulled enough to pay off all the consumer debt. So technically, I'm debt free now because I pulled the equity from the house and paid off all the debt. But now I owe the same amount of money. It's just a different kind of debt. So I'm consumer debt free, but I still have this mortgage that I didn't have before. But my tenant pays me rent, and the rent covers the mortgage. So I still look at it as I'm still $100,000 in debt. And my depression has been so bad that my work is suffering, and I'm not making the kind of money that I was making before. So I'm not really sure what the hell I'm gonna do. But that's where I've been, and I'm sorry that I've been gone, and I miss the like happy me that I was. But hopefully I'll be back to that soon because nobody wants to watch this. So that's what's going on, and that's where I've been, and that's what I've been doing. So
She's stuck. She's stuck in a rut, and a lot of times when you get that feeling, it never leaves you. So now that's her. That's who she is as a human being. A lot of times it has to do with food, but that's for another video. But still, food, you eat better food, you realize all of a sudden you're feeling a lot better and you're doing a lot better. Because being depressed like this, it's not good for anybody.
2 weeks ago, my husband, my partner for life, I thought, of 5 years, decided he wasn't happy anymore and left. Honestly, it was a normal day. He woke up saying his knees hurted. It was the day after Mother's Day. We had an argument about how he loaded the dishwasher. And next thing I know, he's gone. And 2 days later, I got a text message saying he was done.
I can't believe how petty the argument was that actually ended it.
So,
No, why would he leave out the blue like that? It must have been a lot of nagging. I mean, so much nagging. He couldn't take it anymore. Now you're calm now because you come across as a calm person, but I'm sure the other side of you, he saw it and it was too much.
now it's the end of the month. I'm trying to figure out rent and my bills and all kinds of stuff. And my kids are out of school, and I have 4 kids, and it's gonna be 2 months of me trying to hide all these emotions that I'm going through.
You have my confession recorded on video.
But every day it's a goddamn roller coaster. And I'm trying to hold together. And I have a 5-month-old. And I have a diabetic daughter. An autistic child. I'm just going through a lot. And I would appreciate it if you just like or comment or stay to watch this video. It would help me a lot. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with my life right now again.
And that's the thing, right? That's what all of them are doing. Go on TikTok, cry about it. It says, please like, watch, and comment to help a single mom out. That's what she's here for. She's giving the content for dollars. And people are going to watch. People are going to like, especially with my husband of 5 years, left me through texts, 100,000, tons of comments. Why do you do that? You'll get better. Look, the lady needs a definite plan. I guess this is somewhat of a plan, but TikTok shouldn't be only it.
I think something that really surprises people about my situation of being an American living abroad is that I'm living abroad with a lot of debt. Hi, if you're new here, my name's Kara. I'm the digital nomad mom, and me and my family sold everything that we had to travel the world full time, and we're currently living in Greece as digital nomads. So I think when people think of digital nomads, I think of people who own their own businesses, they're freelancers, maybe they work in the tech industry, and they're able to live abroad because they have some sort of asset like a home that they rent, or they've also been able to sell their home. Well, I'm not like that. I'm a broke millennial, you guys, living abroad in Greece. This is my home, and this is my view. One of the things I hear from a lot of people that stops them from wanting to live abroad and travel abroad is that they have a lot of debt. But here's the thing, that once you get abroad, things are a lot more inexpensive.
Now, I can attest to that because I moved abroad as a digital nomad and married my wife 9 years ago. And she's right with a lot she's saying. Your costs drop exponentially, meaning I lived in a place I paid for a year what this guy was paying 1800 bucks for a month. And I lived like that for a year. And when you're living like, I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about food, my light, every bill you can think of. My cable came up to 1800 bucks a month. So when you're living like that, you can pay off some debt. And a lot of people, with the way things are going, especially in the West, need to consider. I just spoke to a guy the other day, actually last week. His family is moving to the Philippines. I speak to people all the time who decide they want to try it out. Why wouldn't you? Especially if you can figure out how to transition what you do to online, you can make it happen.
Now, that really depends on where you're going to be. More countries are less expensive than others. But for the most part, because the inflation in the United States is so bad and the cost of living has really just gone insane, when you live abroad, you are going to save money. Now, for us, getting out of debt has been really tough. And the reason for that is because my husband used to work a really labor intensive job. He was a restaurant manager, so he doesn't have any remote work experience. So for us to be able to live this lifestyle, he had to step away from his job and become a stay-at-home dad. So we are now down to one income. But here's the thing, because I've been able to offset the cost of living by living in a place like Greece or places like Albania, for example, where the cost of living is so much lower than the United States, we can afford to live on one income in addition to continue to pay down our debt. So while I don't necessarily spend less because I am still paying off our debts, I'm able to live a more comfortable lifestyle. So we can still go out to eat. We can still have, little things that make us happy that we were having to sacrifice in the States. My husband doesn't have to work because I am still able to make enough for us to be comfortable and also pay down our debt. I wanted to make this video because I think that a lot of people are looking at that debt and seeing how much debt they're in and thinking there's no way I can move abroad, or I have to get my debt down to a certain amount before I can think about making this move. And while yes, I absolutely advocate for making sure that you have a safety net in the form of multiple streams of income and a savings account, the worst thing that could possibly happen is that you have to go back to the United States, maybe move in with your parents or a friend and start all over again. Now, I know not everybody has those types of safety nets, but if you do, just think about it. That is truly the worst that could happen. And that's how I went into this situation, knowing that, you know what, if the worst thing that can happen is that I have to move back in with my parents, save up money, my husband has to get back into the workforce again so that we can essentially do this all over again, that is literally the worst thing that could possibly happen. But instead, what has happened for us is that we've been able to make a living as travel content creators, because in our travels, we created a ton of travel content. And now we're working with really large brands who are paying us money to essentially travel. So thankfully, because we took that leap of faith, we are.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, you do things, you realize all types of different opportunities open up to you because you moved out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it takes being uncomfortable and making that step. Why not try it?
My husband dumped me via text.
I wonder why.
I found out my marriage was ending on a text message. My ex-husband he's retired, was in the Army. He was gone on a 2-week little work trip with his platoon. I think that's what it's called. They went, I think, a state over to do some kind of training exercise. I don't know. He left in the car with 2 of his friends. I never knew anything was up. We had I thought, a great relationship. Looking back on it now, there was so much that was wrong, but in the moment, being naive and young, I thought everything was fine. He was gone for maybe a day, and then the second day at midnight, I get a text message that he never loved me and that he wants a divorce. Mind you, I'm up all hours of the night that night with 2 sick kids vomiting because they had a stomach bug that I ended up catching and throwing up in my driveway the next morning on the way to the store to get 7-Up or ginger ale, one of those. So I get this text message. I'm completely devastated and blindsided. And you wanted to text me that our 8-year marriage is over?
He'd want to tell his side of the story.
You didn't have the guts and the balls to say it to my face?
Man, another nightmare. I know she was a nightmare. Come on now. Come on. He texted you. Same thing with the last one. He texted you. That's not disrespect. That's, I can't talk to you. Why? Because when he tells you, hey, we need to take a break, all hell's going to break loose. You're not a man. I can imagine what he went through. Now, I don't know. Maybe it was something else, but I'm sure that probably was it.
To wait till you got home? To say it before you left? You had to wait till you were gone for only 2 weeks and text me that you wanted a divorce. I was completely wrecked. We were in Kentucky, so that is Central Standard Time. My parents live on the East Coast, so I didn't know what to do. It's midnight. And I will say my mom and I don't have the closest relationship, and there's no beef, but it's just growing up in a house with boomer parents. You don't talk about your emotions or your feelings. You're not vulnerable. But who else was I to reach out to? So I called my mom, bawling my eyes out. I mean, she didn't know what to say, but she said whatever she could to comfort me and get me through the night. I tried to get some sleep, but I am so thankful that I have my girls, because they were the only thing that got me out of bed for those next few months to next couple of years. And where the marriage ended, I left with basically nothing, and I had nothing. I was always taught to be the dutiful stay-at-home wife and mom, and my ex-husband was always the breadwinner, and I regret putting myself aside for those 8 years and not having stood up for myself and having a great job, something to lean back on when the marriage ended. I learned a lot over the next several years of my life, and it's made me the woman that I am today, and I am so much stronger for what I went through, even though I wish I hadn't went through it.
So it weirds me out because I'm weirded out because she said he was the breadwinner. So you act like you didn't have money. Did you receive money from him in a settlement and spend it all? There's something going on here, right? Because I looked up another video of hers, right? I saw a video she made where she's talking about she had 100,000 in debt. And I'm thinking, did you spend your money paying back that debt? Because she went most famous for that video, not for this one. For paying off her debt. Or not paying off her debt. For speaking on how much debt she has. So was it your debt that was something else is up. But they will never ever tell you the full answer.
It's not my fault.
That's how it is. All we know is what he did wrong. She had debt. She probably was a nag. She probably caused him a lot of issues. She probably drove him crazy. Don't mention those things. Don't mention anything I did wrong. Why? So people can take your side. But I refuse to. Because I'm woken and I realize he left because he sees there's definitely more to life than being around a woman like you. Thank you for watching. See you next video.
I am leaving, and I am never coming back.